Hey everyone, Joshua here. As most of you may know, the Nintendo Switch 2 is just over the horizon, and with that, the era of the original Nintendo Switch is coming to a close. It's hard to believe that it's already been 8 years since the original console came out, and as such, I thought it'd be fitting to take a look back and celebrate some of my favorite games from that console's lifespan. That's right, we're doing a top 10 video. I just hope this one turns out better than the last one I did.
Number 2 is Arceus, the Ice-type one. I think Arceus deserves his spot as number 2, no pun intended.
Oh my god. Okay, start the video. Okay, fine. I know this one is probably controversial, but just hear me out for a second. As a launch title, 1-2 Switch was actually a lot of fun. It did a pretty good job showcasing all of the new gimmicks of the then new Joy-Con controllers, which I feel was the main point of the game anyway. As stupid as some of the minigames may sound on paper, and I mean really stupid, I did have a lot of fun playing most of them with my friends. My favorite is probably Quick Draw, but games like Samurai Training and Safecracker are pretty solid too. You can also milk cows for some reason. Yeah, I'm still not sure why that was a thing. Now, should it have been a pack-in game? Did I really spend $60 on it on launch day because I wanted something to play other than Breath of the Wild? Was it worth it? Did I seriously consider buying the sequel when that came out? I don't want to answer that. Those of you that know me know that I love Luigi's Mansion, and am I getting deja vu right now? I'll never forget that original trailer where Luigi dies, god damn it! Oh shoot, wait, sorry, wrong trailer. As I was saying, I'll never forget when we got our first glimpse of Luigi's Mansion 3 back in 2018. I was a big fan of Dark Moon growing up, and it was so exciting knowing that a third game was on the way. And when we did get it, it was great. The new gameplay mechanics were a welcome addition to the series, and the graphics are still some of the most impressive on the Switch to date. I actually recently started another playthrough of this game a few months ago, and it's been just as fun as it was the first time around. I've also been playing this game's version of Scarescraper more, which is a mode I played a ton of in the previous game, and while I still prefer Dark Moon's version of the mode, it's still a very solid game mode in Luigi's Mansion 3. I had so much fun playing the original Mario Maker back when it first came out, so when a sequel launched for the Switch, I knew I had to pick it up. And sure, while it is lacking some of the features from the first game, like the amiibo costumes or the 100 Mario challenge, and while it was definitely easier to build courses in the first game with the gamepad, the features Mario Maker 2 added more than made up for all of this. A new game style, brand new power-ups, and even a story mode were all included with this sequel. Personally, I'm someone who likes to play levels rather than create them, and luckily this game has a lot of user-generated content. Some of the levels are artsy, some are more traditional, and some are whatever this is. Point is, there's a lot to do in this game. Every once in a while when I get that itch to play some 2D Mario, this has been my go-to game. Splatoon 2 was one of the games of summer 2017 for me. I spent so many afternoons talking with friends over Discord, hopping in a lobby, and just playing the game for hours. This was also the summer that Pepsi Fire came back, and I'll never forgive them for taking that away from me. Give it back. Now. High fructose corn syrup aside, While the main game mode of Splatoon 2 is a lot of fun, the standout addition to me and many others was the inclusion of Salmon Run. Shoot salmon, collect eggs, survive. That's the core gameplay loop, and it was so much fun. The only downside was that you can only play during certain specified times, and while I haven't played Splatoon 3 yet, I imagine this was something that was considered with that game. None of my friends had a Wii U back when the original Splatoon came out, so it was a lot of fun getting to actually play with people I know this time around. I definitely sunk my fair share of hours into the game over the course of those few months after release. I, like many other Nintendo fans, have always been a big fan of the Smash series. I don't know about you, but it's one of my go-to games whenever I'm hanging out with a group of friends. There's just something so satisfying about beating everyone with a baseball bat. Smash Ultimate, the current newest game in the series, is exactly what it sounds like. The ultimate Smash Brothers game. Every single character. Every single stage. Dozens upon dozens upon dozens of remixes. Oh my god, there's so much stuff! This was one of my most hyped games during the second year of the Switch, and oh my god did it deliver. I spent countless hours playing matches with friends and unlocking every single character, every single stage, and almost every single song, but not really because that's way too much work. What do I look like, I'm crazy? I don't think so. A couple hundred hours and nearly 7 years later, Ultimate is one of my most played games on the Switch, and for good reason too. Super Mario Wonder was such a breath of fresh air for the 2D Mario games. Long gone are the days of static animations, perfectly on-model characters, and whatever this is. Wonder brought the series back to its earlier, more playful years, and I love it. Stylized characters, dynamic animations, new power-ups, badges, Elephant Mario. Wonder brought life back into the franchise, and it's some of the most fun I've had with 2D Mario in a while. The addition of the badge system also introduced some pretty fun ways to play the game. From parachutes to grappling hooks to speed boosts, there are dozens of badges to unlock and choose from, each shaking up the gameplay in their own unique ways. Even after 100%ing everything, I still find myself going back to play this game from time to time just to try out some of the badges I haven't used yet. There's also this badge that you get for completing everything, and,
Onward and upward!
yeah. Let's move on to the next game.
Mario Kart! Hey!
Okay, now I know I'm kinda cheating with this one, but I'm gonna make an exception because I played a lot more of this game on my Switch than I did on my Wii U. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe was the second real game I got for my Switch, 1-2 Switch doesn't count, and it's a game that I still play to this day. Sure, that's mainly because it's been 11 years since the last new Mario Kart, but it's also because the game holds up so well. Just like Splatoon, I spent countless hours hanging out with my buddies and playing this game when it first launched. With countless tracks, characters, and even a few game modes to choose from, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe sits right up there with Smash as one of my go-to party games, and one of my favorite games on the console in general. I feel like I might be in the minority here, but I think ARMS is one of Nintendo's best newer IP, and I'll stand by the fact that it's a great game. The gameplay's a blast, the characters are all super unique, and the whole game in general has this really cool vibe to it. Now, I will be the first to admit that this game is definitely lacking in areas. Updates stopped way too early on, and there was still a lot of room for new characters, stages, and the biggest of all, game modes. I feel like Nintendo really underutilized this IP, and in my opinion, there's still a lot of room for it to grow. That said, I still find myself revisiting ARMS to this day to get an occasional match or two in, even if I'm not the greatest at times. With the Switch 2 coming out soon, I would love to see Nintendo revisit this IP for a sequel. Please, Nintendo, I need my ARMS fix. Super Mario Odyssey was the first exploration-based 3D Mario that I got to experience on launch day, and it blew my mind. While I had played classics like 64 and Sunshine beforehand, Odyssey was just so different. The capture mechanic was super interesting, and the parkour opportunities that Mario's new moveset offered opened up a whole new layer of platforming. I remember I would constantly challenge one of my friends to see who could get the best times on the various trials scattered across the game, utilizing Mario's new moves and Cappy abilities. The main game itself was really fun too. Like usual, it's your traditional save Peach from Bowser plot. Nothing new here, we've all seen it before. However, the vast amount of locations you could visit was where the story really shines. There's a desert, a lake, a snow world, there's even a realistic New Donk City for some reason, with real people in it, which raises some questions on what that makes Mario, but I don't want to think about that too hard. Super Mario Odyssey was such a unique game for Nintendo at the time, and to this day I still enjoy going back to it from time to time to collect some of the moons that I missed the first time around. I know I, and many others, would love to get another 3D Mario like Odyssey. Okay, I'm gonna cheat again with this one, because I think Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom both deserve the #1 spot. Breath of the Wild was such an astonishing game when it first came out. I mean, it was Nintendo's first real step into open world games, and I loved it. I spent so many hours exploring Hyrule, battling all sorts of enemies, and even doing whatever this is. For a while, Breath of the Wild remained as my #1 Switch game. Despite all of the great games coming out, nothing could top it. That is, until Tears of the Kingdom came out. Once again, I got that same feeling of awe, despite the game being set in the same world, and that's mainly because of everything new that they added. New abilities, Sky Islands, and the Underground, which I didn't even know about until I discovered a chasm in-game myself. Tears of the Kingdom once again captured that sense of discovery I felt with Breath of the Wild, and while the newer game is probably my favorite out of the two, I still wanted to put both in the #1 spot because of how special they are to me. Each one represents a different stage of the Switch's life cycle, and both perfectly bookend one of my favorite consoles of all time. As you could tell, I'm really excited for the Switch 2 to come out, and it's still so hard for me to believe that the original Switch is 8 years old at this point. After thinking about it a lot, I'd say these games are probably the definitive top 10 for me personally. I've had so many good memories with all of these games. It's just really weird for me to think that the next console's on the way, and I can't wait to make even more memories with that one. So, that's it for this video. If you'd like to leave your own top 10 list, drop a comment below, I'd love to read it. And that's about it. I'll see you guys in the next video. Later.